Welcome to UCF Knightline, your source for UCF sports and former player information.
Hello, Night Nation. This is Andrew Phegley coming to you from the 1148 studios. Joining me, as always, is
Trace Trylko. Hello, everyone.
Or sometimes,
or
I say.
Most of the time.
Last week when I listened to that, it was pretty funny.
It is most of the time.
It is most of the time. It is episode number 69. We've got some interviews. We got 2 interviews.
Really good interviews.
Oh, man.
We are psyched tonight.
Wait till you hear the Adrian Killins interview because it was absolutely awesome. Probably my favorite interview that I've done so far.
And I really like talking with Bryon.
Yeah.
Lockdown.
Brown.
And the insight that they both give you in their relationship with Coach Frost.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Absolutely. So we got that coming up later on. We're going to talk a little bit about baseball because that was happening today.
That's a sweep, a home sweep to start the season.
We've got some basketball to talk about.
Do we have to talk about that again?
Again, yes, we do, unfortunately. And hopefully we won't have to talk about Donnie Jones for too much longer.
A couple more games, it would seem.
Going to discuss a little bit of softball.
We jinxed. Did we jinx him?
I don't know
what happened. Can we
what
put that on
happened.
our guest, Eric Lopez?
Did he
jinx him a little bit?
I don't know. We'll have to get Eric back on to explain this whole thing. We talked to him a little bit today.
In fairness to them,
just
a prestigious tournament
UCF,
against ranked teams. They just didn't win any of those games.
Absolutely did not.
They didn't win any of those games.
Yeah, not good trip out there, but they were playing some tough teams, So I guess we can get our softball talk out. What was the final tally out there? How many points did they get scored against them?
They definitely ran into a buzzsaw of ranked teams out west. The soon-to-be formerly number 15th ranked Knights, losers now of 7 straight.
That's crazy. Never expected
4 and
that.
7 overall.
Never expected
So
it.
they lost all 5 of those games, and on the last show we were previewing that they were facing number 2, soon-to-be number 2 Auburn, and that was close. And the majority of these games were close. One of them got away, but
and they were run ruled on one of them, correct?
Yeah, that one.
That's crazy.
That one was good. But as Eric pointed out when we saw him at the basketball game, this really helps their RPI, and you have to give credit to the coaching staff scheduling tough
absolutely.
games.
Yeah.
All 5 of these West Coast games, top 25 ranked programs.
Right.
And, so we'll see how the season plays out. They still look to be the favorites in the American and still going to be a force to be reckoned with, we hope.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's our softball talk.
Check. Covered.
That's checked off the list.
Check.
There is a new feature on NightlinePodcast.com. If you haven't seen it yet, contributor John Swift has put together a comprehensive spotlight on the new recruits. This week's feature is on Dredrick Snelson, and he was our guest last week. So if you heard that interview and liked it, now you can go and you get even a little bit more information about him. Just go to www.ucfnightlinepodcast.com and look for the recruit spotlight. Is what
I like how
it.
these are flipped. On last week's show, we talked with Dredrick, and this week his spotlight is there. Last week's spotlight was on Adrian Killins, and this week we speak to them. So we're bringing it all together.
Yeah,
a multimedia experience.
Sometimes the interviews don't come together as other things come together, so we have to do it when things come together. So.
But we got nice feedback on John Swift's new feature, and some
Absolutely.
clicks onto the website. Folks wanting to learn more about him, and that's good.
Let's talk about baseball. Baseball did good this week. They had a series with Siena. They played them last year for the first series as well.
It seems like, always open the season with Siena.
Didn't you say something? It's the budget hotel names coming up. Like what? It was something last year. I think you
the
said.
Hartford, the insurance people come to town.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if they're on the schedule this year, but
Fairfield,
the Fairfield Inn. They usually play Fairfield.
I think that's kind of funny. The Siena people travel really well. There were
some
tons
fans
of Siena people, and I guess they go up and play Stetson next week as well. So they're here for a couple weeks in Florida. Which
Those
is
northern
cool.
teams want to escape the frozen tundra of their own fields.
In New York, it's cold up there where they're from.
So on Friday, the Friday starter, Cree Frinfrock, I struggle with that last name, but he was moving along pretty good. Through 5 innings, shutout, 80 pitches, and then, boy, the bottom fell out. An 8-run sixth. And some folks...
Was that him still pitching?
Nah, he gave up some of them. He gave up some of them. Gave up a game-tying 2-run home run. From my vantage, you certainly don't know what Coach Rooney, what the pitch count is on him. You just felt like he labored through those 5 innings and kind of wanted him to go to the bullpen. But, they've got 2 midweek games coming up, Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's 5 games in a relatively short period of time, and he's got to be thinking about the bullpen and all of the new faces. So there's a lot going on that they consider. But, boy, an 8-run sixth, and you thought, man, this is over with.
You go to a lot of baseball games, but I can't really, make myself do it that much. I was out there today, and I came to you at one point, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm ready for basketball to start over there because, I can't take too much of this. I guess if you're a baseball fan, it's awesome, to sit in a small park like that and watch, players that one of these days some of them will be major league players and all that. But I'm ready for football to start.
Baseball's a different pace, obviously, and a different atmosphere, and
there's a lot of people that like it, but
my group, we've had season tickets for 15 years,
right?
And have sat in the same section, and some folks come and go, and we've got Terrence and his daughter Bernice. That's a shout out to them.
Yeah,
that sit in front of us
them today,
and we talk. We do a little mini podcast during each game,
right?
Where we just talk
cool.
about life and work and sports and baseball, and we cover everything. So we have a good time.
Well, yeah. So they had a very successful weekend.
Yeah. So they
anyway.
They gave up the 8 runs in the 6th inning, and fans are this is not looking good, and they rally.
Yeah.
They rally. Bottom of the ninth, they come back. They win that game 10-9. Little meltdown on the message boards. The hashtag Fire Rooney started appearing, and they righted the ship.
That'll be later on in the season when we really start talking about that, because we've already talked about that, in the beginning of the...
Yeah, let's see what he can do.
Yeah.
Got to replace 13 departed seniors and mix in new faces. But they took care of business, 3-0, 2 midweek games coming up, and pretty soon, 2 weeks, they've got home and away with Florida Gators. So some big games.
Well, let's hear what Rooney had to say about this week's outing.
Well, I thought overall the guys did a nice job. They really did. There's a lot of different contributions. I think that's the way you look at it. A lot of different guys, both on the mound and in the plate, did a terrific job. Total team effort. It's not easy to win 3 games on a weekend. You got to play every pitch. For me, I think the tone was set as a team on Friday night, certainly having the ability to come back and do that. For the kids, you always know then you're never out of it. When you're able to do that just mentally, I think it provides a lot of confidence, particularly at the beginning of the season and for a team with a lot of guys who are making their first major contribution for us. So obviously very pleased with the weekend. Tough spot there, your first collegiate outing. Next thing you know, you're on the bench drinking some water or Powerade, and then I tell you to go get ready. It's not easy, but Thaddeus did a terrific job. He really did. He's got a bright future here. He can play a lot of different roles for us, but obviously he came in, did a great job of throwing strikes, good down playing, off-speed pitches. So Thaddeus got a bright future, but he did a terrific job under tough circumstances. We'll see what happens with Nick, but in that regard, Thaddeus did a nice job.
Head coach Terry Rooney mentioning junior college transfer Nick McCoy, who left his first start, as the Sunday starter, wanted to see what the Sunday starter was going to be like, leaves it very early. From our vantage point, and the trainers out there and the teams out there, and you're hoping that it's just a blister on his thumb and, affecting his pitching. But you had a different angle shooting photos today, and I can tell you, when looking into the dugout, they had ice on his elbow. So you hope that it's not the worst case scenario.
Yeah, when I saw the trainer go out there, I thought they just stopped to talk about he was only halfway through the first inning or something.
He hadn't pitched much.
No, and the trainer went out there and immediately started massaging his elbow, and it wasn't good, and he was done. And
hopefully it's not serious, and that he doesn't have to miss much time, if any. But it does put a wrinkle in now. What does that mean for the Sunday starter position?
Yeah, and they recovered from it and, won the game.
Bullpen did good.
That's good.
The Saturday starter Robbie Howell pitched well, so that was good to see, and you still feel good about Cree, even though that outing went a little south in the 6th. So it's early. You expect a sweep of Siena, got the sweep of Siena, and now midweek games Tuesday, Bethune-Cookman first pitched 6:30 at Jay Bergman Field.
Yeah, that should be good. That always draws, a crowd out there for Bethune. So I guess we have to talk about basketball. So let's get it out and do it. Let's talk about it.
Well, a tale of two halves, really. The offense sputtering in the first half in this game. This loss, 75-67 to Tulsa, fifth straight loss. UCF now losers of 8 of their last 9. Offense struggles in the first half. Offense comes on in the second half. Defense goes away. They can't put both sides together. They can't put two halves together. It's a mess.
Hashtag fire Donnie Jones.
You coined that.
Hashtag
I heard you
fire
coin that.
Donnie Jones. Yeah. Obviously, it's not going to be before the end of the season, but they just need to get it done. We need to start over with basketball. I mean, it's pitiful.
You like basketball more than
Yeah.
baseball, right? You understand fundamentals in basketball.
Yeah.
We're in game, what are they in? Game 25 now. Boxing people out, moving around, getting the ball in to the bucket. Where are the fundamentals?
Yeah.
They fall asleep on defense. The fans behind me today were just losing their mind. I think at one point Tulsa had 8 uncontested just drive to the basket layups.
Yeah, I was there for the first half, and I mean the first half was bad, but I guess it got worse. They went on a little bit of a run, I guess, and brought it within 2 at some point.
Within 2,
but then it all went to.
And the way the American postseason tournament works is that the top 6 teams get a first round bye. SMU is not eligible because of their issues.
Right.
So UCF is 7th in that list now. And they've lost both the home and away with Memphis, whom they trail in the standings. So they're looking at that opening round game. They've beaten South Florida twice. They've beaten East Carolina twice. They've beaten Tulane. That's who's below them. And they have the home finale against Tulane.
South Florida beat Memphis the other night.
East Carolina beat Memphis.
Yeah. So I don't understand. This has to be. I think there's definitely some coaching issues there. I don't think that this is other things besides that. Well, let's hear what good old hashtag Fire Donnie Jones had to say about this.
Well, hey, there was a lot of positives, I thought, especially second half for our team. We cut it to 2 there and battled back. Had to spend a lot of energy, I felt, to get back into the game, but I was really proud of how those guys come out and competed. Got an offensive flow finally in the second half. It's just really hard when you start off. Not that we wasn't competing, we're playing hard, just not making shots. We're 1 for 12 there early on in the first half again, and just really, really tough. Got ourselves down and have to battle back. But we did play much better in the second half. Had a couple chances there down the stretch, and wasn't able to get some key stops and had some key misses when we needed it.
Well, wah, 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 wah. All right. Well,
so the I don't know if you caught this news this week, but the AAC tournament, is coming up in March in Orlando at the Amway. It's supposed to be here for 2 years. They've decided it's one and done. There's some scheduling conflicts. NCAA tournament here. The Magic don't want to be on the road for 2 weeks. I'm not sure why all of these things weren't thought of in advance before they awarded this tournament to Orlando. But it'll be here. Then it goes to Connecticut the following year. And I gathered that they would put Orlando back in the mix. It seems like we could be headed to one and done. UCF, by the way, now 5-9 in the American, 11-14 overall. Next game, Wednesday, Houston, 7 o'clock at the CFE Arena. That's Wednesday, February 24th.
Can't wait for football to start. That's all. I just, whatever. This whole thing just makes the school look bad, and they need to deal with this basketball situation fast.
Well, I saw athletic director Danny White there today.
Yeah, he was there
watching the game.
So that's good. I'm sure that he's just hating it. He has to be hating it. He's a basketball guy. It's got to have him.
That's what he's passionate about.
Yeah, pissed off. So,
but as you mentioned, football, and we've had the opportunity to speak to 2 of the new signees. Really, really enjoyable interviews. The best interviews, whether you're doing them or whether you're listening to them, is when you feel like you're learning something new and you didn't expect that, and we're talking to these guys and looking at each other like, "Oh, did he just say that?" And that's exciting when you're talking to these guys. On the defensive side of the ball, another speedster, a cornerback out of Miami's Norland High School, Bryon Lockdown Brown, is with us to talk about becoming a UCF Knight.
So, Bryon, how are you tonight?
I'm good.
First of all, welcome to UCF, and we're glad to have you a part of Knight Nation for sure.
Thank you.
Did you choose UCF or did UCF choose you?
Both. UCF chose me. They gave me an opportunity, and, I took advantage of it.
Alrighty, tell us a little bit about the recruiting process that you went through. Like, who was your recruiting coach that came to see you and all that stuff?
Coach Travis Fisher, the defensive back coach.
All right.
We kind of stayed in contact. So, yeah, he was my recruiter.
And how did you get along with him? Are you impressed by what he did? Like in the NFL, he had a great career and all that stuff, and also was a UCF Knight?
Yes, all of that. Coach Fisher, cool guy. He was recruiting me since the beginning of my 11th grade year before he got to UCF. And he told me he was looking forward to watching my senior highlights, seeing the progress that I made. So when he came back my senior season, my highlights was everything that he was looking for, basically. So he got that job at UCF.
What did you know about UCF?
I knew that it was an awesome school. I knew that it was a big school as well. That year that they beat Baylor, I kind of was tuned into that game. So I know they had a wonderful season that year. That's pretty much it. I know a couple guys in the NFL I watched. Brandon Marshall, a couple guys. Coach Fisher himself played in the NFL, so, that was kind of another thing that grabbed my interest.
I'm glad that we're getting recruits down from the Miami area again. We used to get a lot of guys from there, and it's we had just a couple seasons where we didn't get that many. But are you familiar with the guys that came from Miami that played for UCF before? Do you know those guys, or are you in contact with them?
Yes. The defensive back, Rashad Causey, played for the St. Thomas Clinic, so I've been in contact with him a lot throughout the recruitment process.
That's cool. Yes. So, yeah, we've had a great bunch of guys from Miami, and it's, like I said, it's really nice to get guys down there in Miami. So what did UCF tell you or show you on your visit that made you want to come to UCF?
Oh, man, it just felt like home. I took visits to other colleges, Illinois, NC State, but at the end of it all, I just felt like UCF was home. It was the best place for me. Coach Frost, cool head coach, just seemed like his doors will always be open whenever I needed something. Coach Fisher, he always been I could call him for anything. The players, the bond we had, the connection when I was on my visit, even on my unofficial visit, when I came, it was just like family. They just welcomed me there. It felt like that's all I needed to be.
And so obviously Coach Frost is new to all of us at UCF. What have your conversations been like with him? What's the vibe you're getting from Coach Frost?
Oh, man, Coach Frost. Coach Frost, he's just cool, man. He just, he's not one of those laid back coaches. He's just a coach you could come to for anything, talk about anything outside of football, any problems, anytime I needed Coach Frost, I could call him. I had his original phone number, anything I needed. Coach Frost was right there. He was just there for everything. He hung out with us. I just felt like different from a lot of other head coaches at the universities that I took visits to.
All right, so back to Bryon Lockdown Brown. Describe your style of play for the guys that maybe haven't seen your film.
Very aggressive. Very aggressive. I don't give up too many passes. I don't give up passes at all. You'll get lucky if you get a pass. But, yeah, that's why I call myself Lockdown Brown. I'm going to be aggressive for the whole game. I like playing press at the line. It ain't going to be no easy free release, slants. I ain't giving up nothing. That ain't easy. Unless coach tell me I got to back off, then I'll play off. But other than that, I'm pressing. I'm getting in your chest.
In your bio on the UCF Athletics webpage, it mentions that you've also had experience running track. What have been your sports?
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about your times and your speed.
Oh, yeah. I ran the 441 hand clock at Florida State camp in the summer, right before my senior season started. Lasered at the Nike camp, I ran the 4.6. I just started running track. This is not my first year running track, but just like 2-3 weeks ago, I just started running track. Friday was my first track meet, the Louis Bean, and it was great for me. We ran the events I was in, the 4x2, the 200, and long jump.
Good to have a fast corner because we had some defensive issues last year. So it's the defense has to do a little rebuilding as well as the offense. What kind of a defense have they told you about that they were going to run at UCF?
A 3-4. Something that be running a 3-4.
What kind of defense did you run in high school? Was it a 3-4 or a 4-3 or?
Depending on the personnel, depending on who we was playing, but the base defense that we ran was a 4-3.
What would your teammates say about you?
They say I'm aggressive. They say I'm dedicated.
I put people on the spot a little bit.
I'm always working out. Yeah.
For UCF fans that are just hearing you for the first time and trying to get to know more about you, what would you tell the fan base to expect when you suit up for the Knights in the fall?
Oh, I could tell them it won't be the same as last year. That's one thing I could tell them. It's gonna be a new class coming in. Everything's gonna be different. me and the guys that's committed, all of us, we in a group message. So every day we communicating. So it's not like we just gonna get to the program and just starting to know each other and learn more about each other or whatever. So every day we've been keeping in contact, reaching out, in a group message. And I can just say, like, the connection is already here. We already bonding with each other as if we together every day.
So obviously for fans, it was a tough season at 0-12. For you, as you were watching loss after loss, did that discourage you at all? Did it shake you at all, or it just gave you more resolve to say, hey, you're going to be a part of a class that changes that?
No, it didn't. It didn't. I mean, not really. It didn't bother me. Like, I wasn't really worried about the record or how they played throughout the season. I know there was a couple injuries, a couple starters that was out, but at the end of it, I just felt like none of that really mattered. You're gonna have a good year, you're gonna have a bad year, you're gonna have a good game, you're gonna have a bad game. It's just the way you react to it. So I feel like this is gonna be the beginning of This is gonna be the beginning of a new time period. It'll be different. It won't be the same.
What have your teams been like for your high school? What's their success level been like? What's the experiences you've had that have been successful with your school?
Defensive back that were in front of me last year, Carson Davis. He played cornerback at Auburn University now. He was a starter towards the end of the season. He just won all freshman SEC. You got DeAndre Smart. He's at Kent State University. Elliot Miller. He's at Bethune-Cookman. And we got some guys that committed on signing day. You got Deshaun Joseph, who committed to Florida Gators, and Emmett Rice, who committed to Florida State. We got a quarterback that's going to Tennessee State, a wide receiver that's going to Northern Illinois, and Sam Mark, he'll be going to Bethune as well. So, guys that I've been playing with, they experienced as well. I've been going to getting 6'2", 6'3" receivers that's going to college. So we have a lot of guys that reach to the next level.
That's a good group of guys to be associated with. A lot of guys go into big-name schools. So what can Knight Nation expect from you? What can we expect when we see you on the field for the first time?
They can expect me to be aggressive, holding, not giving up no passes, no completions on my side. I'm gonna hold my side down and lock my side down. That's our lockdown.
Anything you'd like to say to Knight Nation, because they're listening to this, and you can make your introduction right here and say whatever you want to them.
Knight Nation, I just want to let y'all know that this 2016 class that's coming in, we got something coming up for y'all. Just stay tuned.
Awesome. All right. And where can fans follow you on social media?
Twitter, they can follow me at _checks crazy, like Nike check, CHECKSCRAZYY with 2 Y's at the end. On Instagram, you can follow me at cautions _CAUTIONS _ just one.
This is going to be a good year at UCF, man. We're really looking forward to it, and we're glad that you signed with the Knights, and we're looking forward to seeing you play, man. Very exciting.
Appreciate it. All right.
Take it easy.
Problem. Thank you all.
If you're looking for a photographer, look no farther than Andrew Phegley Photography. We offer our services at affordable prices and the extreme quality you expect. Give us a call today at 407-205-7427 or see us online at andrewphegley.smugmug.com.
This is J.J. Warden, Bert Schneider, Brendan Alexander, Brandon Hellwig, Cameron Stewart, Colin Bell, Jeff Sherrick, Kyle Israel, Quentin McDuffie, Quentin Hampton, Rashad Cobbs, Renell Hall,
Sire Burley,
Stephanie Best, Terrence Plummer, Tom James,
Phil Steele, and you're listening to the UCF Knightline Podcast.
Andrew, the Order of Pegasus, the most prestigious award a UCF student can receive, bestowed upon former football player Joey Grant and current men's tennis player Arjun Watani. Congratulations to both of them.
So, Trace, what is that? I mean, because
it's the most prestigious award.
I saw the headline and I'm like, okay, that's cool, but what is it?
It is pretty prestigious. It's based on outstanding achievement in the areas of academic achievement, university involvement, leadership, community service. Out of 63,000 students, only 20 were honored this year, including those two UCF.
Cool. Well, Joey Grant, the entire Knight Nation of football fans knows that, he's a stand-up guy and did very well in academics and all kinds of stuff. Unfortunately, he couldn't finish out his football career like we wanted him to. But anyway, congratulations to those guys for sure.
Your favorite guy
in
the entire world has not been on the unemployment line too long. Brent Key, bane of existence for many a UCF fan. He moved up, right? He moved up. University of Alabama, national champions. Got to coach offensive guards and centers.
That's
Good luck to
interesting
him.
that they're not giving him the entire offensive line. That's what I find interesting.
They moved some guys around, including former FIU coach Mario Cristobal.
Cristobal's got the tackles and tight ends, so
they got a lot of coaches over there.
They do, yeah. And whatever, I'm sure Nick Saban probably doesn't have to pay him much because we're paying him
$700,000.
Yeah, this next year. So whatever. One more reason for me not to like Alabama. One more reason.
But as we've mentioned,
to the list, to the pile.
As we've mentioned in recent weeks, we've been following the former guys on the coaching staff, and they've pretty much all landed jobs that we've been able to track thus far.
Yeah, well, I guess
he's young.
I guess we really shouldn't have any hard feelings towards him, but
no,
our offensive lines for the last couple of years have sucked, and that was his job. And he all of a sudden thought that he should be the offensive coordinator, and he sucked. And he was supposedly our head coach in waiting, which he would have sucked at. That's why I'm not a big fan of him, and I'm glad he's gone. Alabama can have him.
You hold back too much on the program.
He sucked.
You don't reveal how you truly feel.
Yeah, so I guess whatever. Good luck there, buddy. I'm glad you're gone. Anyway,
you may be glad he's gone. But I'm pretty sure you and UCF Night Nation are glad that Adrian Killins is coming to town.
Absolutely. So let's hear from him.
The first featured player in our player spotlights is our next guest. Speedy running back from Daytona Beach's Mainland High School, Adrian Killins is on the Knightline podcast.
Adrian, how you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Awesome. Hey, we're very happy to have you on here. We're excited about you coming to UCF. I heard that you were the first player that Scott Frost talked to and tried to get recruited when he came here.
Yes, sir, I was. It was a great accomplishment. A guy coming from Oregon and a guy like me. To be honest, I always dreamed of going to Oregon or playing in that fast tempo offense like Oregon State, Texas Tech. So it's like a dream come true. It's like Oregon came all the way from the West Coast to Central Florida. So I don't have to go 12 hours away, get on the plane to play football in the high tempo offense. I can just go an hour away to the University of Central Florida. It's like I'm in my own backyard. I don't have to go far. My family can make all my games, and I'll have a great fan base as well. So it's a great accomplishment, and I look to get things rolling in Orlando, Florida.
Before Coach Frost came on board, how much was UCF on your radar? How close, your proximity-wise, you're close, but how close were you to becoming a Knight before Scott Frost came on board?
UCF wasn't on my radar, whatsoever. They came in once during the spring of my junior year. Coach Beckman came in. Coach O'Leary was still in, and he told me that they were trying to change their offense. They needed some fast guys like myself and whatnot. But after that, I've never got in contact with UCF after that. All of my other offers just started rolling in. I was thinking elsewhere. When Coach Frost came in, 2 days after that, the recruiting coordinator, Coach Callahan, DM'd me and he needed my information. And that next day, I got on the phone with Coach Frost and they extended the offer to me. I was one of the first guys he offered in the area. So it was a great, big accomplishment. I visited the academic side of things, like the business building and the arenas, the football facilities, the towers, the UCF dorms, and all that good stuff. So UCF campus is beautiful. I hear it's the second biggest school in the nation. So it's a beautiful school and a beautiful city.
What other universities did you visit?
Iowa State University and Syracuse University.
You had a lot of offers. I mean, I'm looking at your list here. You had Big 12 schools, you had Big 10 schools, you had ACC schools, you had SEC schools. What made you choose UCF over all those other offers that you had?
Honestly, it's about all where you feel comfortable at. As far as the coaching staff, the football players that's already there, and the school as a whole, like the type of environment the school is around and what the professors, academic advisors have in mind and what they plan to do for the future and not just now that the kids are recruiting. So I look long-term in things when I was going through the recruiting process because I didn't want to have any regrets or make any mistake in my decision. because I'm going to be going to college and going to class and playing football for the next 3 to 4 years at that university. So what made UCF stand out is the mission that Coach Frost is trying to do at UCF, and also that the high APR rate at UCF. They have an awesome APR rate. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but they believe in it. That's one thing Coach O'Leary did do with his academic advisors. He made sure his student athletes went to class, stayed on top of their work, and schoolwork came first. So I'm pretty sure Coach Frost is going to keep the ball rolling with those coaching staffs and those academic advisors. So those are some great things that stood out to me with UCF.
All right, Adrian, you're shocking me just a little bit here, because we talk to all the recruits, and I'm not saying that football players aren't smart, but you really sound like a smart kid. You sound like that you're planning already when you're just starting college, planning for your future, and it maybe not just be in football, and that's impressive. What are you going to major in? And tell us a little bit more about that.
I'm going to major in business entrepreneurship and a minor in communications. I plan on opening my own my own chiropractic office. I love sports and I like to be around it. So why not do something you love and do something you enjoy? So I either plan to open up a chiropractic office for therapy and or just being an agent and always been around the sport. So it'll never leave me. I love sports. I like golf, tennis. I love watching tennis and golf, NASCAR, as we talked about earlier. Football, track and field, a little bit of FIFA soccer. So I like sports all in through and through. So I just want to be around it for a long time. So that's why I'm going to major in business entrepreneurship and communication. And
you're a multiple sport athlete there in your high school as well in Daytona, correct? You ran track?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what are your times like? How fast I know you're fast because I've seen your film, but what are your speeds like?
I run a 10:53 in the 100-meter dash, and I got the fastest 60 in the nation right now as a 6:75 as a high schooler, and I'm state champion in the 200-meter dash. I ran a 21:16, and that's all my credentials for track and field.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're really living up to this new UCF slogan of UCF Fast. When Coach Frost and the other coaches have been talking with you, what have they been telling you about this new offense that's going to be coming to Orlando?
Well, they've just been telling me it's new to the whole coaching staff, except Coach Frost and Coach Hill, which came with him from Oregon and been with him and a couple other coaches. So they're just putting the pieces together and whatnot. So in these few weeks, they're going to be getting with all the commits that signed with UCF. So they can get the offense rolling and get the guys in, know the signals and the offense and all those types of things. So Coach Frost and Coach Hill and Coach Beckman and Coach Smith, they just said I'm their guy, and they just want to get the ball in my hands. I'll be at running back, receiver, slot receiver, kick return, punt return. So I'm that go-to guy. Like when Coach Frost is at Oregon, I'm like D'Anthony Thomas and Charles Nelson and Kenyon Barner, so all those type of guys. So it's hard to run across a guy like my caliber and a lot of kids around me, so you have to use those guys and capitalize on them so you can win games for that program.
I've seen your film. Trace has seen your film, but for the people that are listening that haven't seen your film, describe your style of play.
I'm a dynamic guy. I can play kick return, punt return, slot receiver, and running back. I just like to get the ball in my hands and make guys miss, and just give the fans something that they came to look for. Make plays and excitement and electric plays, and just run around people and just make them look crazy, and just get the band playing and get the points going up on the scoreboard. So I'm that speedy electric guy that just loves the game and has a passion for it.
A lot to come from you, no doubt, in a UCF uniform. What have been some of your biggest football accomplishments so far during your high school career?
My biggest football accomplishments, helping my team go to the fourth round. We always fell short to Miami Central, but we came a long way, that football program at Mainland High School. So I helped my team win a lot of football games, and I had a lot of big accomplishments. I had the fastest 40 at the Under Armour Rivals Combine. And I got invited to the little 3-star, 4-star challenge thing, and I did very good there. So I had a lot of great accomplishment in football and track in high school, so I'm ready to take my talents to the next level, the collegiate level, and just see what I can do there.
So here's a question. This throws some people off every once in a while, but I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. What would your teammates say about you?
What would my teammates say about me? I'm a humble guy, and I like to have fun, and I'm that type of guy that works now and that will get the chance to play later because I take care of business now. I'm just like a pretty chill guy. Just like to enjoy life and like being around people that want to become something in life and that have that positive motive to do right each and every day on the field and off the field.
When Knight Nation begins to see you play, what can they expect from you when you're on the field?
They can expect a guy that's going to have a passion about the game and that's going to want to win every game and turn a 0-12 season into a 12-0 season possibly. Just give that fan base something that they've been looking for a while. The last time they went to a bowl game or a championship or anything was when they played Baylor, so we're going to get back to winning games and just going beyond of the expectations that everyone is expecting us to do in this coming football season.
So many of us are still trying to forget that 0-12. As that season unfolded last year, did that cross your radar and you say, maybe that's not something you want to be a part of, or is there an opportunity here to be a part of a class that just turns things around and fast?
It's a big opportunity. The guys that O'Leary had coached under, they didn't really fit that system. He had a couple of kids that's speedy and that just shouldn't be in that offense that Coach O'Leary was running. So you can't put kids. You got to put kids in position that they'll be able to make plays and feel comfortable doing and want to win games. So the kids that are at the school, they're young and they're just hungry to be coached and hungry to win games. So the 0-12 didn't sway me away at all. A guy coming in like Coach Frost, and he's a great guy and a great mentor as well. So I know he was going to recruit some good kids to be around each other. That's great characters on and off the field, and some great coaches as well to coach those kids to win games as well. So the 0-12 didn't sway me away at all. It just made me more hungry and motivated, and for a great opportunity to come in and play as a true freshman and work toward our get.
I'm glad to hear that from you. We're really looking forward to it. If you could talk to Knight Nation, because they're listening, what would you like to say to them?
Knight Nation, I can't wait for this coming football season, and I've signed and it's official, and I can't wait to get the ball rolling. I can't wait to step on campus in June and get this thing rolling inside the classroom and on the field, and be looking for some great big expectations this coming football season. Go Knights and charge on.
Right on, right on. Where can fans follow you on social media?
You can follow me on Twitter at Adrian Killins 6, all cap, and on Instagram, Cool6, KOOLAHH6.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, man. We are really looking forward to having you on the Knights and running the ball and scoring lots of points. So, you know what they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. We don't need to know about your fun-filled weekend in the City of Sin, but we hope you'll click the ad on our website. It's right there to the left, the one that screams you have to save up to 50% off your next trip to Vegas. Just click on the ad and we promise never to talk about what happened in Vegas.
Hey, fans, this is Eric Cole. You're probably listening to the UCF Knightline podcast. Remember, fans, that'll move those chains. That's good enough for another UCF First Down.
And now, news and notes from the world of UCF sports.
Women's hoops snaps a 5-game losing streak, beating SMU 66-54 Saturday. Earlier in the week, the Knights lost to Tulane 65-53. The women are now 3-13 in the American, 6-21 overall. Up next, February 20th, home finale, Houston, 7 o'clock, CFE Arena.
Track and field has 3 event groups ranked in the top 15 in the nation. The U.S. Track and Field Cross Country Coaches Association has the Knights weight throw group at 5th in the country. UCF is 14th in the 200-meter dash and 15th in the 60-meter dash.
Women's golf off to a bit of a rough start at the All-State Sugar Bowl Intercollegiate in New Orleans, 16th out of 17 on the first day.
Women's soccer alum Aline Reese has been called up to Brazil's national team.
Women's tennis loses at number 34th ranked Tulsa 6-1. The Knights are now 3-3 overall, 0-1 in the American. Up next, Mercer at UCF at 2 p.m. on February 26th.
Men's golf tied for 10th in a 14-school field at the Gator Invitational in Gainesville. Up next, a weekend tournament in Ponte Vedra Beach begins February 26th.
Men's soccer loses 5-2 in a friendly against the MLS New York Red Bulls. Up next, a match against a combination of players from Orlando City and Orlando City B. That's February 28th at Sylvan Lake Park.
2 former men's basketball players continuing their careers at the local Florida Flight. Casey Wilson scored 15, Isaac Lang with 10 as the Flight beat the Space Coast Stars 118-97. You can check out the Flight on March 15th following the Magic game at Amway Arena.
We've spoken to Casey Wilson before, continuing his career post-UCF, as is Isaac Lang. Good to see some former Knights.
It's cool that the men's soccer team gets to play the MLS teams and stuff like that. I didn't know that until I read something, this week. That's really cool. What an experience for them to be able to play players like that. Now, do they have the star players playing in those games? Like Kaká. Is Kaká going to play in the game against them? These...
Well, they're saying a combination of players. I don't know whether Kaká will be playing, but some of the players that you'll see during the upcoming MLS season, you certainly will. And now with that Orlando City B team over in Brevard County, the USL team, number of players that were on last year's main club will be playing there, getting more experience, some of the younger guys. So it is an opportunity for both soccer fans, UCF soccer fans, and that crossover to the Orlando City crowd, opportunity to see each other.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, what an opportunity. All right, that's going to do it for us for episode number 69. I'm Andrew Phegley.
I'm Trace Trylko. Go Knights!
Charge on.
UCF, let's go Knights! UCF, charge on to the field. With our spirits, we'll never yield. Black and gold charge right through the line. Victory is our cry, B-S-E-T-O-R-Y.